G'day everyone. I did say I was only going to be gone an hour because I don't know how to fill in an hour just by I guess I could have played some like ARAMs, or you could see me suffer through like a couple of Storm League matches, I suppose. But I decided I liked my sanity, so I took an hour break. But I'm back with another cast. We've gone from Division C to Division B West, the last West Division left. Sad. But it's the division I play in, so definitely this isn't definitely just free scouting or anything. Don't worry about it. It's not... Actually, I think we've already played Macro Machines at least. My team's at least played Macro Machines already, I think. So, yeah, no one can blame me for that. Anyway, we are going to have Macro Machines versus R1E Esports. Both these teams have been around a little bit, even though I know Macro Machines' roster has changed a bit more than R1E Esports has changed. R1 staying relatively same throughout. Yeah, relatively the same throughout the whole kind of the whole timeline. I don't know, best way to put it. All the seasons they've played, that's the best way to put it. And I think it's been a fair few seasons as well, since I've been around at least. But it should be a good series today. I believe they are... I know R1 has a little bit of struggle this season, but Macro Machines has been doing alright. I feel like every time I have seen R1, they've at least kept it competitive. And that's all we can ask for, isn't it? So, in terms of the maps, we did see that it was R1 Esport... no. Macro Machines chose heads on the coin toss, and they did win the coin toss, electing for first pick. So we did see Brax's Holdout Band, Infernal Shrines Band, thank the Lord, then Alterac Pass, and then Battlefield of Eternity. And that... Hoku, why are you not playing today? Answer me that. But then that leads us to Garden of Terror being first pick, which I don't see Garden of Terror all that often picked in competitive play. In saying that, I saw Volskaya about an hour and a half ago now, so take that for what you will. It may just be some weird map... I love seeing different maps, like the non-regular map choices, I should say. So very happy things like Infernal Shrines get banned out. Albeit, a lot of my recent things that I've seen is purely due to Girls Gang Squad. So I'm seeing a lot of different things in what I do when I cast NGS, Nexus Gaming Series, because, well, different player... I say different player base, but there's a decent overlap. However, some players definitely prefer some things far more than the other, and there's a lot more targeting within GGS because they are pretty confident with each other. I've just been realizing... You got my real dad? No, I'm not. Hoku, I'll be honest, if I was your dad, that would be weird. I think I am half your age. So that would be a bit difficult, some may say. Also, I've never been to America, which would mean I'm a very absent father at that, and I don't like that in concept for me, let alone in practice. I don't know where I'm going with this bit, but that's I think I'm going to move on with this bit. I think that's the best way to do so. So we are just waiting for one. It did seem that someone realized that I'm not actually playing in this game, has moved me to the observer spot. Good. I don't want to be playing. I want to yap and judge people. Well, not judge realistically. I just want to see how this goes. But we are still missing one, as I was saying. So what I should do, if I was smart, is look up how these teams are going exactly and see what's happening. And that's what I will, because in terms of stats, actually they're relatively close on the table. Macro Machines is 6th and R1 is 8th. Now there is a fair point difference between the two. Zadders and Comms beating the loading boss. Okay, so we will have everyone here shortly. That's nice, at least. And then we'll get into it in a few... I don't know. This Garden of Terror is one of those maps where we can see some weird things happen. We can see... I would love to see a Vikings game. I'm very biased. I love seeing weird heroes just because if you see enough... if you cast enough Heroes of the Storm matches, you want to see those weird heroes. Show me a Murky. Show me a TLV. Show me, like, Butcher, oh, I guess Kerrigan wasn't weird for a little bit. Actually, I know Waterlong plays Probius. I hate seeing Probius though. So, I do have my own biases in those weird heroes. I will be the first to admit that. That I don't like seeing Probius. I'm gonna say Casterers already. I nearly said Casterers already. But I don't have a Go-Caster. I'm used to them at the moment because that's how good old in GGS. Oh god, they're all just GS, something GS is all gonna like blur together at some point for me. Though it is in GS, yeah, but GGS I usually have a Go-Caster. That's how it works normally. And I'm on my little own all alone here. But that's what I started with. That's what I'm kind of used to. Well, maybe not at the moment, but that's what I got used to, I should say. So I'm more than happy to do a little solo yapping. In fact, it's actually not what I'm known for. I'm naturally... I like to say naturally I'm an introvert. My friends go, but you talk so much. I'm like, well, that's because I'm comfortable with you guys. As soon as I see someone I don't know, I'm like, I say quiet as a mouse. It's impossible. Whenever I talk, I am loud. It's just, I say very few words when it's the other. Liana best. Hoorah, go MaMa. Nice. But yeah. It looks like we'll be starting in a few moments, so I'm interested to see what is played this series. So let's see how it goes, shall we? That's the wrong scene I'm about to change to. I want this one. Oh, there we go. The right scene. Excellent. Right. I don't know what will be banned and picked here, because I'm very blessed. I don't have to do the scouting for my team. I don't have to put that brain power into things. I love it. I love not having to put in the brain power to that. It is interesting, that side of things. Do not get me wrong. However, I don't have to be the one who does it. Nice. And we see Huga banned out first, which is a good first ban. Yeah. Hogger is a very consistent bruiser at the moment. Well, I say at the moment. It always has been since he's been released. Very good at camps, very good damage, great siege. Like, there's not too much wrong with him, so it's always good to ban him out. It does leave a scary things such as Deathwing Falstad up currently, Sylvanas. Well, no longer Falstad, but still Deathwing Sylvanas are things you have to be very cognizant of and like scared of throughout these sorts of drafts, especially on bigger maps of Sylvanas. I do say that, but Black Arrows are no longer baseline, they are level 4, and you get position baseline instead. Now, I think that was 2 patches ago that was changed. Yeah, 2 patches, because the last patch was Deathwing suddenly became scary, and oh god. I do love seeing melee Deathwing back though, however. Albeit, I think it's about to be... I don't know if he's going back to the Shadow Realm. He's definitely going to be weaker. Because they're lowering his... they're lowering his E by a whole second, I don't know. But Genji banned? Genji banned on this map? That's a weird one. I don't hate seeing that ban, but it's a weird ban for a big map such as this, because it leaves a lot of macro, like, on the floor. It leaves a lot to be desired if you are picking Genji. Like, you need very other specific things to go with it. But we'll have to see how that goes, because we do see Junkrat picked up first, and that's pretty dang good siege. And that's like one of those things that can be picked up with Genji, because Genji is very good at finishing kills, but you may not have a burst. However, the other side of things, we see a Nubarak and Rhaegar picked up in the 1-2. Oh. It's not 1E, but in healing. Okay, that's changed. Yeah, that's changed. Brain stopped working for a moment. He was like, what's happening again? I don't know. But we do see Dahaka and Hanzo. We got rid of one Shimada, but there's the other. And Dahaka is just a very, very good offlaner. I enjoy the friends I play the games with. I will say that up front. But some go, Dahaka's bad now, and I just sit there shaking my head going, what the hell do you mean Dahaka is bad now? Dude's still a global with pretty good damage and very good wave clear. Like, it'd take a lot to make Dahaka bad. And Joanna banned out. Valk Slays is, for what I know, she plays a lot of Joanna. I don't know if she always plays it nowadays, or she seems to step away from it because she has played it so much. You see her on EDC and Tyrael more often than not nowadays, but give it Joe out of here. Oh, but you had the free force pick. Oh, you already have a new Brack. No, you're not picked Joanna yet again. Offlane Joanna. Could be cheeky, could be fun. And Vala. Banned. I think that implies Tyrael. I don't know what Cyrillith will play though. Maybe Brightwing, maybe Stukov. You'll have to see. Li Ming Chen? I'm looking forward to the Chen buffs. Well, Chen changes? It's not necessarily a buff, but they're moving talents around him. He's gonna be a little bit worse at first off. Into the offlane, you're gonna play it a bit more patient. But once you get the healing at level 4, it'll be nice. But for now, we are just gonna be with current Chen healing 1. Yeah, Cyrillith and Valk Slayers, what's your picks? Muradin, Brightwing. I was close, I said Brightwing, but I also said Tyrael instead of Muradin. So I'm gonna give myself some points for that. Half points. I'll take it. And then last pick. Damage slot still open. Could go a second bruiser. I think like a Thrall would be kind of lit here. Especially because you have Junkrat Hans overs. Aren't as good as tearing front lines open. Well, not Junkrat at least, but it can get very annoying. And we do see a Lunara, which I suppose that'll be the other quote offlane, in quote. You just got to be a bit more careful about not taking too much damage if you Lunara. But right, that is going to be our draft. Look at them both. I will never say which draft I prefer. I've learnt in my many years casting. It's like oh my god, it's like 3-4 years casting now. 4 or 5. Ugh. That me saying which team comp I prefer always end out bad. The age-old thing known as a caster curse. I kind of try and avoid it nowadays. Because, yeah, it always backfires. Without a shadow of a doubt, it always backfires. And that is the way it is.
The battle begins shortly here.
Alright, let's get into things. As I need to change scene. I nearly changed the wrong scene. This one. You totally prefer the better one. I'm not saying which it is though. But anyway. On the side of... Okay, I swear to god, this is why I don't like Waterlong. On the side of Macro Machines, we have Burb on the Dahaka, Waterlong on the Junkrat, Cyrillith is on the Brightwing. Fucking hell. Hoku, I don't know if you're in the chat with them currently, but if you could tell Waterlong to please spamming voice lines so I don't have to mute every single voice line in the game, that would be appreciated. Nova's going to be on the... Can't remember his name all of a sudden. Hanzo, and Valk's running things out on the Muradin. On the other side of things for R1E Esports, we have Rock Your World on the very damaged, actually, Anubrak, actually going very low. Zed is going to be on the Chen. Jason is actually pausing the game. So actually, I'll just go quickly off. Jason's going to be on the Li Ming. Raniba on the Lunara, and rounding things out is Shadow Leaves on the Dog. Rhaegar. Robot? Okay, I don't know. We'll swap here. I don't know what robot means. 2 out of 5 of the red team is roboting. He'll solve that Valkyrie yellow. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I really would prefer not to mute all the voice lines, and I know that Waterlong has a tendency to spam that. Okay, if 2 out of 5 of the folks are roboting, and 2 of them are live together, I think I can guess who it is. I can have a good guess as to who it is, yeah. Yeah, we will get back into things in a few minutes. So both his comps are actually pretty good macro-wise. I will talk a little bit about comps after all that. After saying I won't say which one I prefer. I will just say what I think they can do. In terms of macro, they're both pretty good. Both, well, Dahaka has a fair bit better macro than Chen. However, this one you are more likely to just duel. Like, that is just gonna be how it goes. Is there any way I can never remember if there's any way to turn the in-game chat off. One day I'll remember. However, yeah. Just sticking to one lane. Burb does have a global advantage though, so they can just burrow to bottom left. Which will be... I don't think Red will really contest anyway. You're not really wanting to do that. Lunara Junkrat's interesting. If Lunara gets any damage on Junkrat, that's really kind of disastrous for Junkrat. Junkrat doesn't really have sustain. Neither does Lunara, unless you're going... Oh, what's it called? Oh, what's the level... 4? I think if you have poison on an enemy hero, it does more healing. Told Sarah to stop emotes. Okay. Love playing 80 plus a month for bad internet calls rock. Oh god! We were doing that at my place for a little, at this current place we're staying at for a little bit, where the internet was just kind of rubbish and would stop working at just some points in the night. Zero tell water. Okay. R1E is ready. Macro Machines is ready. If they ask me if you're ready, they're dumb. Because I can't respond if I'm observer. Alright, let's get back into it. But yeah, as we see, Chen... Oh, Burb is going camp? No, just tagging bushes they're going. Now that is actually a worse matchup for whatever reason. Oh, unless I get good damage on Cyriliff, and Cyriliff does actually have to back up. However, we do see Siege Camp picked up first for Red Team. I do like that the blue is not blue. I should really use team. Macro Machines is waiting to do this top camp till last. Just because if you can get Chen to stay up here a bit longer, it's a really good advantage for the side of really good advantage for the side of Macro Machines. Haven't got Siege Camp at the top. Similarly though, you can have Bruiser doing the same thing and force Dahaka to stay here as well, which also makes things a bit difficult for them. I should look at what our talents are, shouldn't I? We do have the... In terms of stacking, interesting enough, we have auto attack Hanzo with Redemption at level 1. Where? Okay, he's just sitting down bottom because he's pushing with that Bruiser Camp, which will need help. This is a really hard one just for... Like, Lunara's not the worst to just clear it, but is pretty good for it. In terms of the other things, we do have advanced agility Dahaka. Enhanced agility Dahaka, rather. Interesting, we're seeing grenade build Junkrat. Taste for explosion is not often seen. More often not, you see Trapper, chittering traps. That's it, chittering traps, which is just the traps follow someone. On the other side of things, the only quest to note is enough to share from Chen, which is more common with kick build, but should be interesting to see. And we're getting actually pretty good push top. They did get both towers to half. They got mid-gate down. Chen pulled in. Does have... Yeah, I was going to say, does have stagger. We just need to make sure we don't get stunned by Valk Slays. Nope, Zeta will be fine. And Nova will be getting this for free. Oh, and one won't get stunned. Nice. Alright. Oh. I was like, that's actually one that will hurt Cyriliff a lot. We're not healing at level 1 for Chen, so it is technically a little bit harder for him. But it's fine. It is still a... This is still a start of just like generic kick, but this is what happened. Well, something we do see. I think it just has more passive regen. Yeah, increase the healing duration of regeneration glows by 150%. Yeah. God, if it was just increase the healing of regeneration glows by 150%, that'd be pretty dang strong, actually. Oh my god, it's a full orb Ming. What? I just Snarf! Snarf, look at this! But yeah, no, that's very interesting to say the least that we do see it. Wait, did I change the scene properly? Yes, I did. But we do see its full orb Ming, not common at all. Dahaka did go Gambit at level 7, so that... It's good. 1.5 seconds off per auto attack of your tongue is really good. But simultaneously... I really like the healing reduction that the other level 7 provides. I don't know why. I know it's not necessarily the better one, but I really like it. Also, great push by bottom by Nova and Cyrillif so far. Getting a lot of value down here. Not quite stacking Hanzo is like the main issue with this one. Because it means now that like, if they were stacked, they'd be getting through this much faster. I made a huge mistake. Mute this. Ooh, that was nearly close. Also, great invade coming in from the blue team, taking out Rhaegar and actually stealing this siege camp.
I feel a seed germinate. Are you ready for it?
And I think this will just be... I don't know if it quite will be first forward of the game, but they're definitely looking for it. Rock realizes they need to wrap down back around this way, and yeah, at this point it's too late. That's going to be first structure of the game, going over the side of Macro Machines. Well done. Alright, what will happen here?
There it is. Gather the seed before your enemy.
Nice stun by Valk. Actually getting close to... Oh, halfway to the quest now at 20. I really don't like this level... I don't like this baseline quest on Muradin, I'll be honest. Like, every part of me goes, I wish it was still the... You automatically get the Pierce at level 10. Because while it's fun to stack, and while the Mythic's really cool, the matter of fact is... It's really inconsistent. Like, we can see here, Valk Slays is only at 22 out of the necessary 40 to get it. Thankfully, they will be changing the quest in the next patch where if a hero dies within a few seconds of getting stunned by the hammer, you get 5 stacks, so kind of reverting it. So kind of what the aim was on the old auto attack quest at level 1. But now it will just be moving towards its hammer time as well. I still don't like it, don't get me wrong. Especially because Mythic is still just kind of like a meme dream, in my opinion. It's one of those ones that you don't see often in actual games. It's not something you'd see often in competitive play just because of how coordination is meant to work in competitive play, and Muradin can't just slap someone for like 20 minutes. It's why I like offlane Muradin on Battlefield, I will say. Oh, Waterlong gets clipped, does get damaged, but that's Cyrillif coming in with the healing. Very good by them. And that's the advantage of Brightwing. Oh, that's not for rotation. Thankfully, Dahaka can just go underground. Oh, Burb is one who collects, interestingly enough. Riptide goes over the wall. Zed does get a full heal, but hit by isolation, so now we've got a lot of stagger on them. Cleanse, drink the stagger, start to go in. Dragon Arrow finds 2, but not Rock because they were already walking at the time. And now we see Valk Slays is in a little bit of island, but Cyrillif has been moved towards him. Valk Slays down to half. Double stun, finding Cyrillif and Valk Slays. Burb in the back line trying to just channel. Valk Slays doesn't go down for it. And Burb actually gets the objective for blue team. And Hanzo finds the kill while Lunara is trying to escape. And actually, all of red is really low. Roll 1 just on the absolute back foot. And all while I didn't know this till now, this is already pushed up so high. Like, if you're red team, give this defend bot. But no, we are going to be fighting here. Valk Slays doesn't quite find the hammer. Zad, really low, 60 health. But no, that is auto attack speed of the Hanzo, so he does indeed get that kill. And yeah, we now see bottom. Burb is really just pushing this in, and R1E came here quite late in the grand scheme of things, and this is what I mean by like, top was going down no matter what. I would much rather them see roll 1 defend keep than fall. Because now we're down a keep. This early in the game, we're pre-10. Really rough. Well, pre-10 minutes, I should say. Not pre-10. It is level 13 to level 11. But we are at a 2-level lead for the side of Macro Machines currently. Tire jumps wall. Big damage on a rock. Tongue and poly and jump and kill. Arrow misses rock but finds Shadow Leaves. Shadow Leaves, however, will be fine moving into dog form. And yeah, okay, I don't want to scan button as quick first because that will die soon. Yep, here we go. And yeah, all the while, blue team is just pushing it in. Macro Machines into a really good spot currently. 6 forts to 1. 5 kills to 0. It's a really rough spot for roll 1, especially because they are still needing their, what's it called? 13s, which came in just now. That's a very good kill actually. Taking out the Hanzo and making him lose redemption, really strong. Shadow Leaves nearly walks straight into a trap, but we do see Chenathan does instead. Zad getting stuck in his spot, and that will be... It's a really bad objective phase for our red team, but they are still in this. 15 to 13 in terms of levels now, so at least same talent here. And Rhaegar runs into a trap. And now we run at this camp. Zed. Should have seen Valk there. Yeah, and we see that he takes a hard hook away. He doesn't really want to mess with that. There's 16s to 14s. Roll 1 doesn't need to contest this. They're down 16s. They're down 2 levels, in fact. Poor Cyril. At least you do have a Brightwing to do that. It would be like rough if you didn't have like, I don't know, another global that could have done that instead of Seraph, right? Tahaka. And we see that Roll 1 was considering doing this Bruiser camp. They did actually start it, in fact. They do back out. They know they're down talent, and they know they just shouldn't really poke the bear while anything else is happening. Hammer finds its mark. Doesn't really matter, but still. Is Red about to lose their final keep? Roll 1's still down 16s. Actually, they're down by 2 levels pretty much. This makes experience pretty different. Open that up, but I won't really talk about that in a moment because we do see Kid coming out. Nova's found once again. Does eat the jump. Barely holding on, and actually that's Lunara going down. Really good peeling by Nova. Oh, really good peeling by Cyrillif onto Nova. And what could have been a really good play by the red team now is going to be a bit disastrous. In fact, Ancestral comes out a bit late, so that is going to be Rhaegar going down. That's our Anubarak down now. Jason left alone. GG call by Zad because they know well and truly that that is going to be that. Nice stun, nice tongue. That is going to be a 5-man team wipe for the side of Macro Machines in a very dominant first game, 10 to 1, and almost all structures down in a succinct 13 minutes. Well played, first map number 1. I just need to message someone real quick. Give me a moment. Actually, I should change scene. Sorry about this, everyone. Give me one moment. Where is... I thought I had someone... Oh, this is where I can't find what I need to find. Is this who I need? Yeah. There we go. Cool. So, sorry about that. In terms of stats, great hero damage by Junkrat. Well, actually a really low damage game now. I'm looking at 37k hero damage Junkrat, 28 from Li Ming. In terms of siege, 93,000 Hanzo to 73,000 Chen. Hanzo did have actually a lot of room to move around bottom for a little bit. He was left with Brightwing just to free push bottom. And that really is just kind of really let him get up there, especially once he got his quest done, his baseline done. We'll talk about that in a few moments. In terms of healing, Brightwing 52k healing, really bailing out their team that game. Great work on their part. In terms of talents, all kind of straightforward actually. Yeah. I was like, there's nothing really. The thing to stand out, maybe Giant Slayer from Hanzo. It's not something we see very often. More if not, you see piercing arrows. Endless nades is interesting to see, but again, this is one of the weirder Junkrat builds that it can be good, but definitely weird to see in this map. I didn't actually note how many is a better terminology. I didn't really note how many stacks were on the Junkrat level 4 by the end. I didn't really look into that. Someone else probably sees it. They can say it, but I did not. I did not look back closely. Oopsies. Well, I think that's basically it from that. Yeah, there's not too much else to say about that game. It was just a really good showing from the blue team. And let me change it on back to the map view screen and update the scores. And it was Macro Machines who got map number 1. Yeah! Sorry, now I need to extra type something. Right. I'm interested. Oh, it's not actually clicked ranked. No, that would be disastrous. I'm usually interested to see which map we go to next. Oh, Infernal Shrines is banned. Your team actually banned Infernal Shrines, Hoku, so they do. I think Valk is currying my favor, I think. I actually am running out of water. I've had like. Okay, look. I'll even make sure it is heard. And I'll drink. But yeah, I don't know. Roll One, Macro Machines did very well in the macro. They lived up to their namesake. So I'd like to see potentially Roll One to go a small map, but they did choose a big map for a reason. They were the team that chose that map as a thing to point out. Well, I'm just happy. Look, I was guessing Joe was banned, so you can't actually say that they were told not to do meta boringness because, well, Joe was banned. You can't choose Joe if it's banned out. But yeah, everything else was definitely it's definitely interesting choices at map in terms of the talent comp. And why do I have a second series in a row where it's a map 2 Volskaya? What a weird one. Who picks Volskaya? It was Roll 1 that picked Volskaya. Volskaya is definitely an unpopular map. I can't say anything else about that. Volskaya is unpopular. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But weirdly enough, the second time we've seen it today, it does have the same kind of macro tendencies that we have seen on the last one. You do actually need to be pretty tight. The better you are on your rotations, the better it goes. That was a dumb sentence. Of course, the better you are on your rotations, the better it goes. The better you are on your rotations, the easier time you have to really punish slacking on the not the Pokemon, but the other team slacking if they're a bit sloppy on things. So I'm very interested to see how that goes in that regard. But we can also see, as we saw last time, instead of the 4-man double soaking top mid, we see the 4-man just push bottom and then treat it like Towers of Doom, where you do have top bot being done by just solely the offlaner. You get a pretty good double soaker and they can do really well in that regard. Oh, my team must be there practice. No, oops. I knew I was missing something. But yeah, hopefully we get into things shortly. I think teams are just discussing strategies. Looks like one is ready. We are just waiting on the other. And I hope we get a free map series. I don't want to just come back to 2-2-0s and just call it a day. That's kind of sad. That is really actually kind of sad. I really hope it's something else. I really hope it's a free map series. I hope we go to map number 3. But alternatively, item overlords after. And it looks cloudy outside and I really don't want it to rain. Because I can't mow that in the rain. Well, it's not good for the lawnmower blades if you do mow it in the rain. It's probably the best way to put it. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds about right. But we will be getting into Volsky Industries. Foundry. So let's see how that goes. Ding. And it's blue team once again with first pick. I'm quite surprised that Roll 1 did opt for map pick this time around. I guess I'd say if they have things I do prefer. Hogger we see banned out by way immediately. Not as good a Hogger map as the previous one. But still, Hogger's also just a good hero. So there's still no two ways about it. Right, what is Roll 1 thinking of banning? Fellstad! Fair enough. Very good hero. There's no two ways about it. It's just a very good hero currently. Like, a lot of these are just... I don't live that rural, Hoku. Don't get me wrong. I unironically did used to live rurally, so I did actually have like sheep, cows. I worked on a lamb and beef farm for a while when I was growing up. Well, because my uncle worked on one, I used to work there over the summer holidays. Carla, thank you so much. Let me... No, that /raid. I want shout out. Oh god, let me get this right. First try? Excellent, first try. And get you banned out again, weirdly enough. Thank you so much for raid. And we see Junkrat first picked once again. I think Brain went to magic mode. It's like, pack one, pick one. What are you choosing? I've been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering recently, I will be honest. Every Wednesday, Friday, go out, play Magic with friends. Great time. I highly recommend it. Leeming picked again, so same pick so far. Yeah, same pick so far. The only difference was we saw Rhaegar picked in... Was it Rhaegar already picked at this spot? Or was it Ming and Ubrak? I don't know. Either way, it is the same heroes from last game so far. Ming can do a lot more of this map, though. It is a little bit less, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit less like kind of solo lane and camping. Because you do actually have a lot of fights that do happen on the objective itself. But we do see Seralith on Brightwing again. Valkso's a murder. We are just running it back, huh? I don't think you ban out Hanzo. I don't think Hanzo's picked here. He was auto attack Hanzo though, so that isn't... So it can be. It's not a bad idea. Okay, we'll see what's banned. I can't remember what was banned last time. Shall we? Alright, Joanna was banned last time, so yeah, Blaze this time. Cool, makes sense. What about the other side of things? Same bans so far. I wouldn't really expect to see Zagara here. Oh. Maniba likes Zagara, I think. If I recall correctly. Yeah, that sounds right. In my head, that sounds correct. Anduin. The Boy King. Banned out, okay. Fair enough. Get him out of here. Alright, what is the free 4 slot for R1E Esports? Damage heal? Yeah, damage heal. Tychus, Rhaegar once again? Okay. Well, Rhaegar once again. Tychus is different this time around. And now the 4-5, we had Hanzo and Dahaka last time. And this is a really bad Dahaka map. Like, downright bad. So I imagine we don't see Dahaka here. We saw Chen on the other side, so it'll be interesting. Hanzo once again. Oh, Hanzo was picked again. And Sonya. Okay. I imagine we see, like, Slam Leap Sonya. It could be interesting to see, Wrath. I can't remember the full thing. Wrath of the Ancients? Sonya? Berserker's Wrath Sonya? Something like that. But most likely we'll see Leap. And Zad finishes things out with that Thrall skin. Interesting. That Thrall skin. But right, that is going to be everyone picked. So interesting where map number 2 leads us. Yeah. I hope it's R1E Esports. I hope R1E Esports does well this time. Because I would like to see a map number 3. I don't want to come back to casting, like, engineers get 2 best of 3s that end in a domination and call it a day. That's kind of sad. But if that does happen, so be it. Alright, let's get into this game, shall we?
Commence combat preparations.
So, on the side of Macro Machines, we have Cyrillith on the Brightwing. Valkslays is going to be on the Muradin. Nova on Hanzo. Burb on the Sonya. Rounding things out is going to be Waterlong on the Junkrat. So, pretty much the same comp. On the other side of things, also pretty much the same comp. Well, at least 3 out of the 5 as opposed to 4 out of 5 from Macro Machines. We do see Rock Your World on the Anubrak. Jay's on... I forgot her name. I nearly called her Azula. That's just not right at all. Li Ming. Zed is going to be on Thrall. Shadow Leaves. Rhaegar rounding things out is going to be Maniba on the Tychus. About damn time. We have Q build Hunter this time is a big thing to note. Q Thrall and Regeneration Master Anubrak, interestingly enough. Burb spins in middle things, does get stunned for their hubris, and actually nearly dies immediately. Brightwing having to pop the spell out of him. Jason looking for the finish, but Burb is not able to be found. So this time we are going to get the standard... I said this time. We are going to have a very much standard 4-1 split. Plus or minus people running at camps. But a very standard rotation sort of thing. Style of play. Is that already getting really low? This is actually one of the harder matches for match-ups for Thrall. You need to not fight Sonya in your wave. Essentially is what it boils down to. And actually if you're Thrall, I'll look to freeze wave here. We've let the thing step in too fast, so that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Valkslay's taking a little bit of splash damage. Does get stunned once, stunned twice. A lot of damage coming out onto that Muradin, but does get out safely, thankfully, to the jump. And this is essentially what's going to happen for a little bit. We're just going to get wave queers, get some little pestering, rotate, and then repeat. And it's going to happen for a while. Ad nauseum? Ad infinitum? Ad infinitum. Ad nauseum, I think, is just keep going. Ad infinitum is forever. Yeah. Definitely doesn't think of definitely don't think of magic when I say ad nauseum. And if a certain player is still a certain person still in my chat, they'll know exactly why I think of ad nauseum. Yeah, we're just slowly chipping away at this wave. Burb comes here, we'll clear up pretty quick. But I like this aggressive play from Macro Machines. Getting that camp now is quite nice. And it's really hard for Roll 1 to take those camps away, just considering there is concussion mine on the objective. Oh, that's so much damage on the burb. Can Seralift save this time? No, no Brightwing saving this time around. And that's what I mean by if you are cleaner on your rotations, as we are seeing from Roll 1, it means you are able to find picks such as that. Because Sonya, out of position, wasn't quite ready for everyone to, for Red Team to collapse down, because Blue Team was still clearing top. We did see that it was Sonya, that was the first kill, going in favor of Roll 1 this time, as opposed to in the favor of Macro Machines from the last game. G'day, Treeman. I hope you're doing well. As a reminder to everyone, there is a 30-second delay at this point because, well, that is the rules from that NGS does deign for us to have. Which, yeah, I'm not gonna be one to complain about it. I really should not be one to complain about it. It's literally I'm a board member. And Zad's on the merry-go-round of life, and I think that merry-go-round of life will be a very soon death. Got the heal. Q misses from Nova. That is a what I thought was a dead Brawl. Is a very alive Brawl, but very good movement from Red, making sure they come down here to help their Brawl out. I don't hate them giving objective, weirdly enough, because they don't really need it. I mean, I guess Tychus can stack off of it. Yeah, Tychus can stack off of it, which is really good. Which actually we may see him. I'm actually surprised we do see stacking from Tychus. Well, specifically in the Rhythm. When we do see Tychus picked in competitive play, more often than not, we see... Oh, what's the word for it? What's the talent called? Master Assassin. I think it's Master Assassin here. Where attacks, it gives attack speed bonus, and then once you get 15 stacks, you get a further attack speed bonus. Which is kind of insane on Tychus, but it is what it is. But yeah, we do see he is going to get stacked pretty nicely, getting another 12 there. Look at the noob rack double soaking. Oh my god. I guess I can stop Brightwing pretty well. Jason getting low, having to back up. Now that everyone's down here. Oh, barely missing. Oh, very tippy into the stun there for Rock. Meanwhile, Brightwing is just pushing. This is what happened last time. Roll 1 is not... Roll 1 just let a little bit of pushing happen last time, just in bottom lane as opposed to top lane. So we do see that there's going to be a quick camp quit, and Red needs to get back on top of rotations, as we do now see they're around 3/4 of a level behind the side of Macro Machines. Phase Shift comes out to heal up Junkrat, who was dying to the camp actually. Darkslade's taking a lot of damage. Are they forced to drop anything? No, they can hold on to their heal camp actually. 27 stacks for the Thrall, Echo the Elements. If I'm blue, if I'm red, I'm being very careful here. Blue is on the cusp of 10s, and I'd absolutely be ripping those heroics as soon as I could if I was them. And they're just piling up all these consumables. Because we do see what they have: turret, heal. I think Sonya has a turret, but I have to look after this because we are seeing Rock try to escape. Does get hit by the stun arrow, but very well timed Q from them means they're not going to be in trouble. No, okay, so it's 2 healing camps and 1 turret camp, and over here it is just 2 turret camps actually. Stuns doesn't quite find its mark for Rock, and we do see its 10s for both teams now. And a relatively standard array of heroics. You see Blink Heal, Dragon Arrow, Avatar, Riptide, and Leap on the other side of... Well, speaking of Riptide, I could actually talk about that in a few ticks. We do see it come flying on through. Hits. No one yet. Hits 2. And that's that apparently. On the other side of things I was about to say, we do see it is Cocoon, Earthquake, Disintegrate, interestingly enough, Ancestral, and another Dragon Laser Drill. Zed dodging a lot of stuff. That is a Panic Ult if I've ever seen one, and that is a kill and an ult for the side of Macro Machines. And that's really only the second kill of the game. Stun on the Li Ming. Li Ming just a little bit too high, and unfortunately if you are Orbming, it's so much harder to confirm those kills when you are that close. It's really why we see Calamity more often than not nowadays, because that little Calamity damage, that teleport on top of someone can do so well, and we do see that Nova finds the kill, and Nova's harms have just been so onto it today. There's no two ways about it. Yeah. Nova's just like been really consistent in both these games. I think it's the best way to put it. I was like, is Burb thinking about stealing camp? No, Burb did not steal a camp.
Take control of it.
But Nova is. Nope, Nova is not. Nova's scared. Nova. Rock your world in a rough spot. Ooh, combo actually finding Nova. Shadow leaves in an awkward spot. Is going to be fine. Rock is pushed away. Is still hit by the leap, however. Cocoon onto Muradin. Shadow leaves does Ancestor themselves. Nova getting really low. Riptide peeling for them. As we do here, it is going to be the Thrall using Ancestral Wrath there. They are just a little bit stuck, but Valk Slays is on the island. Brightwing goes in to try save, but that is going to be Valk Slays going down. The Muradin falls, and actually, very close game so far. So much closer. I like this one more. This map's so much better than the last one because it's just so much closer. I don't like one-sided affairs. I think that's boring. The less one-sided is the better, in my opinion. Burb swerving. Oh, that's a root. We saw a turret get dropped there. Don't know why. Burb has 500 health. Does get purged. And that purge isn't actually minus healing, but the concussion mine saves. Cyriliff does get double stunned at gate, and Cyriliff goes down actually. Not the one that's expected to see go down, but it is the one that does go down. And Rock's on the wrong side of the fence. Rock hit the gate. Yep, there we go. Rock's fine. Oh, hits Muradin right as Muradin jumps over. I thought Muradin would have been over that actually. Concussion mine coming in, not quite finding anything once again. And we actually have concussion mine build this time, so it is going to be a lower cooldown when it hits just enemy heroes, I think. When ever hitting an enemy hero. Burb jumps in, does get double stunned. Dragon Arrow does peel, but the Brightwing does not phase shift in time. And that is going to be another kill for the red team, really just capitalizing while they're down. These are some dumb riptides. Just watching it just wiggle in the middle. I'm like, we could see Junkrat right there, right? Apparently not. And Cyriliff has gone bottom to push once again. All 5 members of R1E here. I would really like to see Zad go so, like, every time we do this, Cyriliff goes somewhere else. And we can see that the experience gap just does widen once again. And it is why Macro Machines is having a better time with these maps. They do have that constant global presence. That is going to be the Ancestral Wrath work on Valk Slays. That is going to be protected now for the red team, but they are not going to use it so far. They're going to rather fight. Burb taking a lot of damage. Rock seeing if they get killed, but Cyriliff goes down again. Burb soon to follow. That is a double kill now for the side of R1E Esports. And Macro Machines having to back up. Well, stun. I'd prefer Zad go soak here, but it's actually even experience for the moment, so it's fine, I guess. It's not ideal, but it's fine. I guess it is tanking the main seat, so it does make it a bit harder. Is that his tank top? No, he's just looking for a cheeky Q. And he walks into a trap. quite effective actual projector phase this time. We do see top go down. Mid is getting hit now as well, about half. 20 seconds left, 22% on punish it, protect it. God damn it, I always do this. And quest complete in a hard zone, finally having that Q online. Oh, it's one, it goes down. Nicely done by red team there. Actually having, going from getting no structures last game. Map, what's a good map's probably better terminology. Stun fall short of Burb. Is Burb gonna leap to get out? Burb leaps to get out. It's fair. I think it's a fair leap. It's a 50-second cooldown. You get 60-second cooldown. You get it back pretty dang quick. And if you really like, it's better not to give you experience if you don't have to. So I like the leap there. Also, 35 stacks on Inva Rippin for Tigers now. So that minigun does go for a while. We do see that the heal on minigun has been picked up. That's not as good, however, it's a bit anti-synergistic, even some may say, with that level 1. Level 4. That's just, I just did not know how numbers work for a moment there. Apologies. But yeah. Roll one in a really good spot. Mirror still no pair. Rodney. How often have you... I must ask you, because I know you have played tank a little bit before. You have played tank in the past. But in your games in Heroic, how often do you see that level... Like, what levels on average would you say the Storm Pierce is done by? Because I am curious about this, and like, coordinator play. Double stun. Leap is back up to... Again, up once again, yep. But arrow was used as well. A little bit unfortunate there. Let's go R1E. G'day, Ector. I hope you're doing well. Also, welcome back, Rodney. Valk Slays is fine. Root misses. Zad needs to return around. A little bit of a miscommunication now. Is it Zad stuck in the middle? Not Zad. Rock stuck in the middle. Things nice stun once first. Burb getting purged. Actually, no, it was a slow on totem. That is... I love that talent at level 4. 16 numbers. But that is a good momentum now for our red team. Go for the stun. Does find Valk. Does find free. That's one dead. Zeralith really having a harder time this time around. Map number 1 was so good for map number 2. Is not. There is something to note that there is this camp pushing top. I hope Zad goes deal with it soon. We do see Frawl backing up. No, he's come back. He's not doing anything. Oh, good concussion mine by Waterlong. Yeah, someone need... Okay, offlaner, go. I understand. But you're not getting this building. People are respawning at this point. Like, you need to do so much more in such short time. But, never mind. That is a good kill. And a short cooldown on Riptire? Yeah, short cooldown on Riptire. I guess a keep is good. Is a good trade for a fort. Is something to mention. So, when I put it that way, yeah, I like this play more and more now. Roll one, really pushing it in. Opened up a win condition. Nice. Good stuff, good stuff. Blue, a little bit of a back foot this time, considering how dominant the last map was. I think they're almost a little bit... Oh no, I haven't paid enough attention. You know what? Fair enough. Oh wait, you're not playing tank this season, are you? You guys got a different tank player in, did you? Or are you back to tank? And we are doing camps. Blue team just wants to knock over top. I like this play from Macro Machines. Like, they're not winning the fight straight up. Fortunately, Rock is actually not that far off, but I don't think the rest of the red team here is here in time to really stop it. One stun, Burb backing up, and actually just the presence of the Anubrak alone was enough to deter Macro Machines from really pushing in. Oh, this little beetle boy just walking on up, not really worried about anything in the world. He's just going to keep walking. Meanwhile, down here. Ooh, Hammer doesn't quite find smart. That's stun onto Zad. Zad is in trouble. Does drop the Earthquake once again. This is the second time we see the Earthquake panic drop. And Junkrat actually goes down in return. He was using Riptide and was a little bit lost in the thick of things. And I think the red team's just going to look to knock over top again, aren't they? Blue team is going to look to knock over red's top. I think R1E should have learned about, like, from this last time, but it's going to be a little bit too late at this point, so they are just looking to trade forts. They have beetles to push, so they can pretty easily do that. So I like that they're not just sitting idle, chasing outside of mech machines around the map. They are taking initiative and taking structures when they can. Actually, merely take this whole thing out before Hanzo can just finish off bottom. And that is now Protector in favor of R1E Esports. It's interesting to see the tank in the driver's seat. Is that? I never know what's technically correct when it comes to the Protector. Like, who should be in driver, who should be in gunner. But we have seen both times this map for the blue team at least, for red team at least, it's been Inubrak Tigers. And this is a problem, however, if we get close enough to E Shadow Levers. Or Ancestral does keep them up, but Riptide I don't think will. Double Ancestral not quite going off in time. And this is where I think, like, red team needed to jump out here, because now we're just seeing everyone run past the Protector. Rock jumps out. We do see the damage being done by Cyrillif is healing. Okay, get out of the gunner seat. Yeah, we see Eva finally getting out of the gunner seat just so much later. We do see it is even up to a 4v3 with that Cocoon. And now Burb is taking a lot of damage. Valk slays as well under that Commandeer Odin. Not Commandeer Odin. Dragon Laser Drill does get a stun, does get grenade. That is another stun onto Valk slays. And what was a disastrous start for the side of R1E Esports turns around to be a very good fight for them. And we immediately see them get back in that Protector to push once again. Because as we know, well, as we kind of know, the objective was changed. Level at 15 minutes now, it scales much harder than it used to. And we see the second lane being opened up. It should be pretty good. Waneba just being stuck in there. I'd like to see red team back up. There's a little bit of maintenance they need to do. Oh, actually, Rhaegar can go there. And so can Li Ming afterwards. Take this camp. If you're ready. Yeah! Grenade does scout it, but you're not too fast. But now, what does blue need to do? They actually have some very good tools at 20. They have extra oomph on Riptide. Which, so if they hit basically 3 heroes, they get Riptide back immediately. Play of the game, Hanzo. So a little bit of global action from Hanzo. Poison Spear is the interesting one to me. I never know how I feel about Poison Spear in terms of Sonya talents. I just think the... Oh god, I can't even remember what it's called. Ignore Pain. Ignore Pain's a 20. I like the Ignore Pain so much at level 20. 60 armor is just insane. But otherwise it's alright. And then into Mountain King, Muradin. It's a good 20. Double jump, double slam. The other side of things is Rewind. Earthquake. Earthen Shield upgrade to Earthquake. Talrash's Elements. Farseer's Blessing. And Focusing Diodes on the Dragon Laser Drill. Ooh! Spear does not find its mark. 2 turrets. Little turret, big turret. Okay, cool. You're also not a fan of mirror changes. Excellent. I can handshake you on that one. But we are getting into a neutral now where red does have the better neutral. What's that in terms of stacks? So no. Oh, he's done. Okay. That can get scary on this objective actually. And what's the level? Yeah. Doesn't quite find. Valk does eat the jump though. Oh, and Rock was just a little bit late on using that rewind, so that is Muradin able to use the second jump charge to get out. Got it. I love how goofy Echo is. Well, I don't like that it's no longer just goofy. But I like this a lot. I think it's so funny. Oh, Zad needs to leave. Mirror jump. Zad knows they're in trouble. They're not bulked. They are Earthen Shield, so that is going to be a very dead brawl. Hi, Dragon Arrow. And that is going to be a mostly a cooldown from... Full cooldown from Junkrat there. Just 15 seconds left. I believe I said something along the lines of why did they kill Muradin? Like, the Mythic is fun, but like it's such a hard one to get. I wish it was good, but they are kind of like fixing it again. They have made it a little bit easier to stack where you don't just have to auto attack. Thank God. Oh, an invisible Muradin doesn't quite find the hammer, unfortunately. Spear, however, hits, but that means Burb is left a little bit on an island. Does get a nice double stun from Rock. That's all three heroes there. Riptide above. Junkrat is getting lasered down the whole time by the Dragon Laser Drill, but we'll be fine. Actually, it did a decent chunk of his health in terms of damage. I know the focusing diodes really does add up. And now we have middle objective up. And for the first time, it's really Macro Machines that's having to do the maintenance, just making sure everything is going to be okay. Fortunately, Hanzo does have piercing and explosive arrow. Wait, I think it was piercing. Yeah, piercing and explosive arrow, so it is a very good wave quit in itself. And they do have play again. They are also global at this point. Play of the game, sorry. Play again is Vikings. I imagine we're going to see blue engage very shortly. And once we see blue engage, we can look at Hanzo for the arrow. There's a hammer. There is a turret. Turret's down. Nice stun. Valkyrie is taking a lot of damage, but Arrow, unfortunately, doesn't quite find its mark. Valkyrie does live. That is going to be Hanzo down, but it's going to be Burb down. Valkyrie is getting very low. Junkrat did get a full reset. Once again, get a full reset. Seralift does blink out safety. Only 2 hit this time. Waterlong does get jumped over. We do see a double stun. Seralift now in trouble. Does blink to wave. Can Zad get a root? They can get a Q. That Q does slow. That is a lot of damage on Seralift, but Seralift will indeed live. And I'd like to see Protector just go core here. No, in a real game, it's never being finished. In a quick match, however, it's funny. But yeah, that is going to be map number 2 going over to R1E Esports. And my wishes are going to be fulfilled. It is not just a little 2-0. We are going to be going the full way to map number 3. Hell yeah, GG's. So I'm very sorry, Macro Machines. I was actively betting against you. I was actively wishing for your demise that last map because I want a map number 3, man. I don't want 2-2-0s and just call it a day. That's boring. I need excitement. I need a chutzpah. But right. Let me change scene. I just remembered I can do that. Oopsies. So, in terms of stats, Junkrat's still having most hero damage, 109k. Hanzo actually a fair bit behind this time, 67. And actually, Thrall, second most, 68k. Li Ming struggling a little bit. Tychus not too far behind that, though. Very good punish onto the tank of... R1E Esports had a very good tank punish. And we did actually see both Muradin and Sonya really suffering for that. The front-to-back ability of the red team is a lot, especially with a new rack holding people in place, and Zad also following up with those W's, those roots as well. In terms of Siege, however, we do see Hanzo 181k, highest in the game once again, Thrall 158k, and Soak 21, Hanzo 19, Thrall. And we really did see that did start to bump up once Hanzo got Play of the Game at level 20, because it does allow him to be a global. Unfortunately, he didn't really hit any arrows once that global came. Why has their tank just entered the Nexus? Why is... Never mind. It does allow Hanzo to be global. Unfortunately, that arrow didn't really ever hit post 20, which is really unfortunate. And in terms of talents, it's interesting we see Concussion Mine build without Bogged Down. So Bogged Down to the level 7 that adds a slow to the Concussion Mine. Instead, this time we saw Silencing Traps, which didn't really feel too impactful this game. Kind of sad to say. I did like the actual Purge picked up at level 7, which I can't remember what the name of the talent is. Purification picked up at level 7 was really nice to see, and actually that minus healing did matter a few times because it did screw Seralift over with a few of their phase shifts even. And that Orb Ming is weird. I know certain lovely people. One of them in the chat, one of them must be, I'm guessing the other half is working, who sees Orb build and reaches. But Jason did still pretty good on it, for what I can tell. Alright, let me jump it back over to map view screen. Let me update the score. And let's see what our map number 3 of Cursed Hollow has in store for us. And it was map picked by Macro Machines. So it's the first time they're map picking the series. Microsoft is no longer supporting for Windows 10. You can't make me update to Windows 11. Microsoft, you can go away. I like my Windows 10. You can't make me go. I will scream. Scream. Yeah. Anyway, we will have a map number 3, thank the Lord, because I was not looking forward to just 2 2-0s and just being sad. So I'm very curious to see what comes of this map. We are just waiting for everyone to get in. It won't be too long, however. Here's the thing. Roll 1 really needs to be more on top of their... Roll 1 really needs to be more on top of their soak. Last map, the last 2 maps, they've really let some things go. Like a few, like bottom lane from map number 1, they lost Fort super early, if I recall correctly. Just because no one was bot for a while and we saw Hanzo and Brightwing just push. And they actually got most of the building and they got the rest of it just a few minutes later. And then that last map, it was technically better because they did trade a keep for Fort for most of the Fort that time. But still, there's just been a few times that we see someone split pushing in one of these maps and all of roll 1 is kind of centered in one lane. So I like the choice of a bigger map here because it is actually really punishable. Especially this, like, it wasn't as punishable on the last map because the rotations are pretty quick between lanes. But this time, this map is much more punishable if someone is slack on getting that soak. So it will be interesting to see, is the best way to put it. In terms of what comes next, I don't know. I really don't know. I imagine we see the same bands, however. Get Hogger out of here. Get the Harker out of here. Oh. Blue. A second time, Blue. God damn. But no, thank you, man. Greatly appreciate it. Lash out. That's a question mark. Eternally. I don't know why I'm shouting you out. Most people here will know who you are at this point. It's the same, like, microcosm of things, right? But yeah. Imagine we see Hogger Band, we see... Oh, I can't remember her name. Zagara Band. I imagine we see just Genji Band again because I didn't like it last time. And I can't remember the other one. I'm gonna say Caster is ready. But it looks like everyone's ready, so we should be getting things shortly. But how'd your series go up, Blue? How did the... Oh, I can't remember who was playing your one. Was it CCS and someone else? I can look. I'm being lazy. I can look. Yeah, how did magnitude objective optional go? Alright, let's see what this draft has in store for us. And first pick is roll 1 this time. That's the big difference here. So they don't have to ban out Falstad this time. Yeah, because I think we've been banning out Falstad, Genji. So I think you first ban Genji here. We'd say that. No, but no, they're sticking to their guns if they're going to ban out Falstad. So I think you ban out Genji here first, and if a enemy decides not to ban out Falstad, you ban out Falstad. But no, we are going to get the magnitude 1, 2, 0. Ooh. There's been a lot of 2-0s tonight, I feel, because I think, I feel like there's been a few 2-0s, because my first one was a 2-0. I feel like your first one was also a 2-0 as well. But we have a Nubrak band out this time, which means, are we going to see a Hogger map? Pick 1? It's a good Hogger map. Most maps are good Hogger maps, let's be honest. Junkrat first picked. Okay, so taking it away from Waterlong. Now, what are the next 2 for our blue team of macro machines? I must know. Well, we will know. And in fact, 5 seconds, we'll figure that out. 5, 4. Yeah, no 3-hour cast. Thank God. So, Leeming has been taken by Waterlong, so we're actually having a little support. Carla's went 3 games, I think. No, I think you are right. I think Carla's did go 3 games. I should have actually asked her for score. Cyriliff really has just been loving this. Is Cyriliff just a Brightwing main? Is that what I just don't know? Because I didn't play Macro Machines this season. I was working at the time. So my lovely friend Koala, lovely Captain Koala, I should say, just taking it over for me. We see a Sylvanas Diablo. Ooh, we have not seen Sylvanas tonight. That's going to be a little bit yuck. It leaves you open a lot of doors macro-wise for the Sylvanas team because of just how she works as a hero. But she does need to be pretty on top of getting those stacks because you really want to get it by that 16 level at the latest. Third ban. Hookah. Yeah, I was kind of surprised it lasted that long. Like, I'm surprised Hogger wasn't picked considering it was left up. For reference, Hogger's been banned in the 1-2 slot every single time by Macro Machines tonight. G'day, TZ. Yeah, Diablo was here. I'm out of water. Thank God this series only has one more map. Tyrael ban. Oh, interesting. Oh, we're gonna see Joe this means. I guess I've seen Muradin 2 times so far. So not necessarily. We'll have to wait and see. Yep, there's Joanna and Tychus. So the big lizard is going to be a little bit scared. Well, I'd be a bit scared if I was a big lizard, but I'm also a bad big lizard. So what is in the 4-5 slot for R1E Esports? They still need heal, they still need offlane. Zul. I would love to see a Zul. Rhaegar Dahaka. Okay, Rhaegar's been picked every time. I should have guessed that one. But Dahaka, I like seeing that one. And there's the big stinky dragon itself. And I think Burb actually really likes the big stinky dragon, so that is unfortunate. And actually, Red Team doesn't really have a good answer for Deathwing now that I'm looking at it, so that's bad for the Red Team. I'll be honest, that's really bad for Red. Like, Dahaka minus armor at 13? Just get him to sit on Deathwing for a little bit? I don't like it. It's gonna be a rough one for... Okay. It's gonna be a rough one for R1. I don't know why I bothered changing the scene. I changed it so late, but I'm basically just gonna go straight to in-game. Yeah, I am. So, on the side of Macro Machines, we are going to have Burb on the Deathwing, which is a proto-bird. Cyriliff is going to be a mini Deathwing, the Brightwing. Waterlong Li Ming, Valkyslays on the Joanna, and Nova is going to be on the Tychus. On the other side of things is going to be Rock on the Diablo. That's his name. Yes. Jason on Sylvanas, Waniba Junkrat, Shadow Leaves on the Rhaegar. And we do see it's going to be Zed on the Nubarak. That's not Nubarak, that's just not even remotely correct. Dahaka is Space Yoshi. That guy. But yeah, that's what we're going to see in this game. So, good luck and fun call by at least one of the... Both teams at least have called... At least one person's called good luck and from both teams. And... we are not going to fight at all. Definitely getting some early stacks. Nice. Also, the Deathwing Mythic is kind of... I've only ever seen it completed twice, and it's been like a high kill ARAM both times. It's like big orb, but no, it's blue team this time that has Li Ming. And Zed is taking a lot, but we'll be fine. Interesting we're having Dahaka go top here. It's still getting it done this way around. Well, it's not bad to get this camp done early, do not get me wrong. You'd much rather have this pushing during objective phase. I guess Deathwing is a pretty quick global at this point. So you're not too fussed about that. I love just watching Junkrat just like fling shit in Vegeta direct. I'm not meant to swear. Very good board member over here, very professional. I love seeing, I'm gonna say it again anyway, I just love seeing Junkrat just fling shit in the general direction of a giant dragon. Like, take this! Throws a little explosive at a Deathwing. Which I canonically, don't think that'd work. Because let me throw like a little explosive at the aspect of death or destruction. I don't know. My WoW knowledge is not fantastic. This is there. I know some things. I know approximate information about many things. And World of Warcraft's not one of them. I know nothing. But falls are through for both teams. Pretty standard across the board. And we are going to see black arrows picked up. Oh, sorry, haunting arrows picked up by Sylvanas, I should say. Barely a nerfer. Yeah, what? It's... his fly is 5 seconds longer and his E is 1 second longer. I hope it's like I hope it does something, but it's not much. It could be more. I reckon it could be more.
Gather tribute and
Amen. Amen. I agree, Teasy. Right. First objective phase is coming up. Neutrally positioned. Zed is going to get a little bit of a grenade to the face. No minigun, however, at this point in time. Early setup from red. Warning ping comes out. Bush was checked. Nothing was found. Grenade fights 2, however. And great iron skin by Joanna there, not quite getting hit by anything. And this is actually going to be a pretty succinct objective for the red team, because everyone's here. Deathwing is pushing bottom, can't fly. Brightwing is pushing mid, can't fly. Like, you can't afford to give this up if you're red, because how much resources you're committing to this. Deathwing is in the air now. And I imagine we see Brightwing fly up shortly. Yeah, there's Brightwing now. And Deathwing, the big stinky dragon, lands on top. And I have nothing against the person playing Deathwing, I want a side note. I just think he's a big stinky dragon currently, because he just gets in the way, flaps his wings, and stinks up the place. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Tanked for tank, that is that's a 1-for-1 there for Roll 1 and Macro Machines, but I'd say Deathwing is a bit more of a tank than a Dahaka, so that will be objective number 1, going over in favour of Roll 1 Esports, as they did find 7s first as well. And we have another Orbning. This time with Aether Walker instead of Power Hungry? Yeah. But I'm actually getting a little bit bullied. Only a little bit. It's Deathwing after all. Sub done? Oh yeah, Subdue is done. Jesus, I did not even realize that. I was a little bit too focused on other things. Polymorph hitting a minion? Heck, that minion in particular. Oh, it's dead. Cornball, why do you have to do this to me? Oh, Cyrillith. Oh, no tank here. Diablo, in fact, is a bit stuck, so I think we have to give this objective as well. Ooh, Orb. Rodney. Both the other maps, it wasn't Orbing. Orb misses. Target is pushing top. I imagine we see Deathwing land here in a few moments. Yep. Right on cue. The big stinky dragon. Verb jumps in. Not much done. Not much else done. Yeah, that's a better sentence. Grenade does a little bit of damage. Suck on Jason. Jason gets off a wall. Yes, he does. Jason's fine. But yeah, this is definitely a weirder orb build because we see Aether Walker, which is not common at all. I do like seeing Relentless Soldier, however, from Tychus. That extra armor into things such as Diablo. Really nice. Or other 2 Orbmings. The first series I casted today, there was no Orbming at all. It was actually Seeker Ming. Was the one I saw there. Yeah, Seeker. I think that's the level 7 Q. Right. Oh yeah, it was dirty. It was like Sika Li Ming with... What's it called? What's their name? Ana. Nano Boost Ana. It was kind of disgusting. But we aren't talking about this one. We aren't talking about that map. We're talking about this series. As we do see it is going to be W build with Apocalypse. Really uncommon nowadays. If you see W build, you typically see Lightning Breath. Or if you see Apocalypse, you typically either see Q or Auto Tech build. 3 Orb Mings on one team sounds horrifying. To be fair, the Orb Ming has been on different... The Orb Ming did change teams this series. Belling Roar for Deathwing, by the way. Nice stun. Unfortunately, the flip messes with the tongue for Zad, and Joanna able to get this out pretty safely. Combi to Odin drop below, so there is a lot of poke of this objective now. And Burb in the middle of everyone. I like to see the giant traps, actually, the minus armor traps. Oh my god, Diablo is just such a rough spot. Finally drops the Apocalypse. Does hit Joanna with it, but does go down in the meantime. Seralith gets the heal off. Zed now knows they're in trouble. Does have to back up. It's 2 for free, 0 for free. And actually, now looking at it, there wasn't actually souls for Diablo. So that is going to be a full death on him. He was at 88. And that's going to be the first objective of the series going over in favor of macro machines.
And now you shall fall.
And now you shall fall. Why was the Raven Lord like included in so many maps? I do wonder that sometimes. Like I know people. So talking about what TC just said, free Orb Ming sounds horrifying. What's happening down here? Jason's fine. One of my favorite ever. I like ARAMs for full purpose. You can get the same heroes. One of my favorite comps is 4 Tyrandas and a Falstad. Jason's gonna be fine. And this is just a regular ass like ARAM. There's no brawl aspect of all same hero or anything like that. But yeah, we are seeing all 3 forts go down here. Concussion Mine finds Warlong, but does not get him the right way. Good damage. Great damage. Jason goes for Mind Control, doesn't find it. Meanwhile, big stinky dragon chick. He's out. He's back in. Camp being stolen. That is going to be the horror fight right into the arms of the enemy team. And that is going to be Zed trying to hold on. Does get hit by a grenade. And the Ancestor just a little bit too late as Li Ming finds the finish there. However, that is going to be Velxley's going to wall. Doesn't have Iron Skin at this point in time. Is taking a lot of damage, but will be fine. All point to laugh at the same person? TZ, is that it? Push. Stun. We're not QEQ yet. There's no 16s. I still want to state, I hate the all same hero ARAMs. Grenade fun to kill. A fade away from Nova. 4 hours and a chicken sounds so toxic. It was. Also, for 3 Malfurions and 2 Krobbies was also insufferable. Right, it looks like boss call is coming out. I don't think there's too much that Red can do about this, hopefully. Like, they could technically have started their own, but... Ooh, we're shredding this, man. Red is actually starting their own, but just much later. And definitely just pushing again. Yeah. Good. Like, good macro presence from Deathwing. It's not something you say often about Deathwing, but it is interesting to see when it does come out. Both bosses are up now, and we see Red is just full halving to defend. Blue not as concerned because it is going to be eaten up decently well by this fort. I saw that all go wrong way. Well. Boss game burn pretty quick. However, top boss went down even sooner. So it's really good, like, damage coming out from Necro Machines. Roll what? I've just seen it's 105 black arrow stacks so far on Sylvanas. You're really behind where you need to be at this point. Because I know, technically, you can get 400 by level 16. 250 by 16 is not a bad idea, though. Triple decker deposit anything's hilarious. Imagine getting sapphired constantly by Deckard. Great positioning here, by the way, so really forced Deathwing to kind of use the meteors correctly. I like that Red's come back to defend. Zad taking avoiding a lot of damage here. Misses tongue. Combo went out for Zad but did not find it. Zad is actually the CDR on his W. There's at least Primal Storm though. Clean's coming out. Jason taking so much will go down. We see Riptide getting a return. Does die. Leeming finding a kill onto it as well. Maybe it was Leeming. We see that is Dahaka. Combo trying to come out from Warlong doesn't quite find its mark. That stun counters? I'm very surprised by that. So that is still going to be the Leeming up. Rhaegar down, however. Diablo's soon to follow. Yes, Diablo's soon to follow. And what I believe is happening is that is going to be GG's call. It's still pretty short death timers. But it is a very scary team, so I think it may be GG either way. We'll have to see. Go in, Jason. Be the hero. Nice. Yeah, this court is just slowly going down at this point. Burp does die. Very unfortunate. Ruining KDA. Right at the end, it's not what you want to see from your Deathwing, but that is game and the series going over the side of Macro Machines. So we did see some good Spirit of Life in the middle of the series from Roll 1, but unfortunately, Macro is a little bit too much. They really did prefer those big Macro style maps, so really living up to their name this time around. I know the past seasons they haven't. The last seasons I've definitely seen them as a more team fighting team, but this is a pretty macro-y style of gameplay coming out from Macro Machines. Oh god, I'm tired. Right. In terms of hero damage, Leeming... No, Tigers had most 43,000 compared to between 7,000 and 29k from Junkrat and Leeming respectively. Siege, Dahaka 92k, Tiger 73k, Soak 12.63 compared to 12.65 for the Dahaka and Deathwing respectively. At healing, 45k. Serial did really well in Brightwing this series. It's really kind of a big thing to note. Did bail out their team a lot, especially in map number 1. Map number 1 was frustratingly close on so many occasions for the side of Roll 1. Like, barely people were surviving. In terms of talents, everything kind of standard from what I can see. Interesting, we see Q build Tychus into Diablo Dahaka. They can interrupt it pretty well, especially with Master Assassin. But we have Comedy Odin. Every other time we've seen Draken Laser Drill this evening, which is not really expected. Junkrat weird build, to say the least. We are getting full launcher build, including Burst Fire, which I dislike strongly. I don't know how other people feel about it. I dislike Burst Fire a lot. But everything else kind of doesn't really stand out outside of a Leeming build, which I kind of talked about already, being Orb build. And that's kind of it. Right, I'm not really planning on doing interviews today, unfortunately. I'm quite busy. I am on holiday, yes. Do I still have other things to do? Yes. So I'm going to go trade someone. Who am I following that's on? And let's mute it before I do anything else. Yeah, I'll probably throw it at Alicia. But you know, there's a really dominant map number 1 from Macro Machines, I'll say. There's no two ways about it. But map number 2, really Roll 1 showed that they do have actually the chops, and when it comes down to those more team fighting maps, they did really well. Unfortunately, however, it could only last so long because map number 3 did go in favor of the side of Macro Machines once again. So Macro Machines really loving those big maps, both Garden of Terror and I should probably change it over to this so people can see. But both Garden Tier and Tales of Doom, Cursed Hollow really worked out of your favor, and as soon as it got a bit more brawly, roll 1 just kind of did clean it up pretty well. I'm being messaged. It was Hoku. So yeah, that's going to be me. Thank you everyone so much for joining me. I'm going to raid it on over to Alicia. Good friend. Good friend of Lime. So I'll see you there. Thank you everyone so much for joining. I've been your host, V-Line Bus. I feel like I'm repeating myself at this point, but I have not been around very much. Hopefully I've got a few more things lined up this weekend. No GGS tomorrow, unfortunately. There wasn't quite enough signups. But I'll be back on Saturday and Sunday respectively with 2 more best of 3s from NGS. So I'll see you all that next time. Valk Slays, thank you so much. It was a very good tanking as per. And I'll catch you all another time. Take care for now, everyone. As I remember how to stream properly and remember what my ending screen is. There it is! I'm so good at this. So rusty.